Alright.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, so what we're going to discuss tonight is with this book, Bob Marley, Malcolm X, Bob Marley, and other essays.
Yeah.
So we're going to discuss the chapter that I wrote on Bob Marley. And the reason why I want to write about Bob Marley specifically is one of the things I've noticed is Bob Marley's become very commercialized. The image they give of Bob Marley, you always see him as kind of like a smiling hippie figure. And that helps to kind of distort some of the real messages that was in his music. So I wrote this essay pointing out that his music, there's a lot of revolutionary Pan-African messages. He sang about the struggles of poor people, in particular poor black people in Jamaica and across the African continent. One of his most well-known songs in Africa, which you don't really hear too much here because, again, like I said, they give us a very commercial image of Bob Marley, but he's well respected in Africa for his song Zimbabwe, which was a song about the freedom struggle that was going on in Zimbabwe. And he also sang other songs for Africa, such as Africa Unites, in which he called for African unity. So there's a very revolutionary Pan-African message in Bob Marley's music that we typically don't get when we see Bob Marley. When we see Bob Marley, as I said, he's very happy, sort of a hippie kind of figure. He's a stoner. A lot of people only know Bob Marley's music for marijuana, smoking weed and that kind of thing. So I really want to not only get the revolutionary message of what Bob Marley was doing, but also show the historical roots behind it. One of the things that you find in his music is Bob Marley is very influenced by Marcus Garvey, who there's an image of Garvey right there.
Yeah.
So he's very influenced by Garvey's message of African unity, African liberation. He was also influenced by the Rastafarian ideology that he eventually adopted and became a part of the religious movement. And again, it's become so commercialized, and people think of the Rastafarians to think of people with dreadlocks, smoking weed, singing reggae, and that's the extent of what we know about the Rastas. But I point out in this book, that was actually a very revolutionary movement. I mentioned in Grenada there was the Grenadian Revolution in which the government was overthrown, and Rastas took part in that revolution. So not only was there people like Bob Marley and Peter Tosh who were reggae artists that were singing about these revolutionary topics, but the Rastas were actually directly engaged in some of the revolutionary activities throughout the Caribbean region. And this often brought them in conflicts with the governments there. Very often Rastas were beaten by police officers, some were killed. In Dominica, I point out that they actually passed a law where if you were wearing dreadlocks, the police could shoot you on sight, just for having dreadlocks. That's how hated Rastas became in certain parts of the island. So I wrote this book to point out that behind that smiling, happy image that we see of Bob Marley, there's a very revolutionary, very angry figure in there that was singing against the oppression of African people. And as I said, within the Rastafarian movement overall, that was a very revolutionary movement. And Rastas, faced severe oppression and repression in the Caribbean for their views. So on that note, I'd like to open this up to discussion.
Yeah, I mean, I guess just talk a little bit about what you said, how people have commercialized him.
Yeah.
Because I went on a website, and it was in relation to cannabis. They have all of these products that
Like Bob Marley products.
yeah. But they're trying to market it. And so, I had mixed feelings about it because it was I guess stock or whatever, but it's like I don't know if that's really what he promotes, and so it makes me I wonder do his children, what do they feel, what do they really think about what's what's happening to his music.
I don't really know too much about the children and their view. I mean, I know they're doing a very good job at continuing his legacy, but I haven't seen any statements about them whether or not they're particularly happy with how Bob Marley's legacy has been portrayed.
Yeah.
Because one of the things they mentioned in the book is George Bush's daughter described her mom as a secret Rastafarian because she listens to Bob Marley, and again it goes back to Rastafarian. It was a very revolutionary movement.
Okay.
So to hear the first lady of the country being described as a secret Rastafarian simply for listening to Bob Marley's music, I think kind of undermines what the ideology was really about. So again, it goes back to the issue of just kind of commercializing it and watering it down in such a way where to be a Rasta, you know, just listen to reggae music and maybe smoke some marijuana and listen to dreadlocks. But it was really a powerful movement.
Yes, Bob Marley, you know, is world in the world.
Yes.
In music, you know, world in the world. That's time the generation, all the kids they support him because some kind of music I don't understand very English, but some kind of music you talk Africa unite.
Yeah.
Because unite means power. Come together, you know, that's bringing the power. Because that's his thing for that. That means come together, Africa unite, come together. Because when it's separate, that's the king the power. That's world is more powerful. And then you say again, get up, standing. Huh? Because that kind of music, they sing like music, but that point you have the meaning. Because when you keep sleeping, you cannot see you right, they're gonna take away the thing you have, they're gonna take it. Because you say, Africa, get up. That means open your eye. You can agree to work with the people from the Africa. May Africa have a lot of resources in the ground. They have the diamonds, gold, everything. May when you don't know what you have, you don't see, they're gonna get up, they take it. That's why in music, you have the meaning, because that's the knowledge, what I tell. All music in the Bob Marley is knowledge. You see what go in the world, what go in the world, people are doing, and what they're doing, you're gonna teaching the people without it's not the school. That's music teaching the people to know something. What crooks on the world they're doing. That's why he talk black people, he talk the white people, he talk everybody to know what you write. I think so that's more powerful music. That's why he never go up everywhere. Yeah, that's why I don't read much for his book, man. I listen to his music. Because I have one friend, he passed away since I'm young, like 18 years. He support Bob Marley. When night time he's sleeping, he put the Bob Marley music and the radio to listen to. He said, Sabo, do I bother you? I said, no, this is no bother me. I'm not playing much on the music. I mean, what is he talking? I want to hear. It's not me like all time I play music or dance, no. I mean, I want to hear. In the message he's talking about, you have the meaning. That's why everybody supports Bob Marley, because he talks something true. It's not something like music like that, no. He talks something true. That's what true make power. That's why everybody like him. What I think.
I mean, yes, very true. That's exactly why he was able to gain the international following that he had, because people really connected to that message in music.
That's it. That's why everybody loved that.
But when he sang about Zimbabwe, the people, the freedom fighters in Zimbabwe really connected to that message, and it was the same throughout the African continent. Wherever people in Africa were fighting for their rights, and they're listening to Bob Marley singing about the struggles, it really connected with that.
That's why. That's why everybody liked his music. And
I've been kind of like a sadness, because kind of like what you were saying. Is because you know, there's this influx of Puerto Ricans coming to Orlando, and like I'm sad because there was that event I just left, but it's like we're not coming together. It's like everybody, and it's good to fight sometimes as your race or whatever, but like you said, it's real, the power is when we come together. And I just felt really sad because I know that the Puerto Ricans, they need housing, but we as black people, you know, we've been struggling with housing issue too.
A lot of people have been raising their hand.
We could come together and stand. I think, maybe we should play that song or something. But I just been really sad, and I just came back from Philadelphia, and it's a little bit of different feel, because it's like the Puerto Ricans and the Cubans, they all respect their African heritage, and so they see my struggle as their struggle, and then they give you, of course, they give you space to be when you're African space, they also see us as, being together too. And it's kind of hard. I don't really see that sometimes here. And I've just been kind of sad for the past few days because it's like there's so many issues, but you got this over here, that over, but it's all the same.
And that's why Bob Marley's music, and it's a very common theme in reggae overall, is he's always saying about Babylon, that oppressive, corrupt system. And in his book, I try to give a description of what Babylon is, because people, if you're not really familiar with certain concepts within the Rastafarian movement, you would hear Babylon and not be quite sure of what it is exactly. But the power in what he did in singing about Babylon, he's able to identify that oppressive system that oppresses everyone. So it kind of does unite people together in a common struggle, because you have a common enemy, a common system that's oppressing everyone. That Babylon system is speaking about. So I think that's how Bob Marley's relevant to what you're talking about, in terms of getting people to recognize that they're not only oppressed in a very common manner, but the system that oppresses them is the same system.
Right.
What about the Dr. King and the Michael Max?
What about them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote about them too, but in this book I focus specifically on Malcolm X because he's been a bigger influence for me. But to some extent, they're same thing as Bob Marley. It came with a very powerful, unifying message. And the reason why I put a Pan-African flag on this book is because, like Bob Marley, Malcolm X especially was a Pan-Africanist. He spoke about unifying people throughout the African diaspora, and he spoke about building bridges throughout Africa. He talked about the Africans here stretching out their hands and connecting with brothers and sisters in Africa. So Bob Marley's message of African unity was really one that's solely unique to him, and many people before and after him have come with that message, and Malcolm X was one of those people.
Yeah. Michael Max, what kind of message he gave the people that he knew bigger?
Pan-Africanism was one of them. Another message he gave was one of self-determination. He said, rather than begging people for your rights, you fight for them and you free yourself. You don't beg white people or whoever it may be to free you. You free yourself. He was very critical of integration. He felt like you don't beg people to enter into their house. If you're being oppressed, and the oppressor has this house and he's not allowing you into the house, and Malcolm X's message was sort of build your own house. Don't go begging the people that oppress you for freedom or for jobs or to feed you. Feed yourself, employ yourself. So his message was very empowering in the sense that it was a message of self-determination, and it was one that made people of African descent realize that we don't always have to keep going to white people to do everything for us. We're perfectly capable of solving some of our own issues.
Like fight to get you, you say. That's the message. He message fight to get you, you say.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a young lady in Minneapolis. She kind of said something very similar to that in her campaign. Of course, she lost, but a lot of white liberals, and I guess it was like historically kind of like a repetitive issue. She kind of said something like, "We don't want handouts," and so they were like, "Oh, she doesn't believe in social programs and whatever." And that's not what she said. She was like, we don't need handouts. We'll take a hand up. We don't need handouts. So she actually was more revolutionary than what they gave her credit for. And that's what I was trying to tell them. I'm like, you don't know what she's talking about.
Malcolm X is, I write about this. He was very critical of white liberals for the same thing, because he found that the issue with some of the conservatives is, they're completely dismissive of the African struggle. And then on the other side of that, you have liberals who tend to approach the race problem in a very condescending manner, where it's like, we'll step in and we'll take care of you, but it's not very empowering. It's you're constantly having to rely on them to fix the issue rather than us being able to empower ourselves to fix the issue. Because Malcolm X, when he formed his own organization, one of the things that he said was he didn't want white people in the organization because he felt as African people we have to fight our own battles for ourselves. And what he told white people is, if you're really sincere about fixing the race problem, then work within your own community to fix it. Because that's the other problem too. A lot of times you find white liberals that want to come into black communities and try to take control of the black communities, but they're not doing anything to fight racism within their own communities.
Yeah.
So Malcolm spoke about all of these, and a lot of these issues are still relevant to the political landscape that we have today.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening to you. That's a wonderful discourse, because you know about it, about Marley, you know very, very good. And the Michael X, I like them. That discourse I like to hear because they're truthful.
Right.
They're talking the truth and they unite.
Right.
Yeah, any truth anywhere is power.
Where are you from?
I'm from West Africa.
Where?
Oh.
I'm born in Gambia.
Gambia.
My family is staying in Senegal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my family is staying in Senegal.
It's
West
awesome.
Africa. Just come, you know, I like to listen to this kind of way, you know, because that's gonna bring more knowledge, you know. People talk, these people, they come to go, they live in the messes. That's the message people need them back. And when people keep reading the book, they cannot see the right. Sometimes the way they don't understand, they cannot be together. When the people understand, they try to put people together. Yeah, some people they don't see what the music they're singing, they have the meaning. A lot of people think so funny, it's not funny. They're talking. Some kind of music is there's something to tell the people. Yeah, to teach you. It's not music like that. Michael Max talking, you have belief on the God, number one. When you believe in the God, you don't care anything. You're gonna find the truth. You have belief, you know, only the God can control everything. People trying to put the power, everybody power down, no. When people come together, they're gonna work with the God. Because unite brings power. That's why we try, like you say, Philadelphia, they understand. Maybe some people, they teach them. Here, maybe they don't get more teacher. Yeah, when you see they don't go together, yeah, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Because when you don't get more teacher, you cannot see. You know, some people, you know, Haiti, Africa, all I tell them, because they teach you wrong way, they teach me wrong way. They eventually keep it discussing. They're gonna see the corruption. They're gonna take corruption out there. They're gonna know you brother and sister, brother and sister. That's gonna, everybody gonna understand. Maybe when they teach you something wrong, they teach me something wrong. They tell me, oh, you, this man do you bad, this man do you bad. You don't ask him, how you gonna know? You have to ask each other. That's why the truth gonna come up. Because some people, you know, they say, oh, Africa, oh, they do bad thing there. Or they say, oh, it's not the Africa do it. Because people know what problem come from. When they don't discuss that, they tell you something wrong. Because the people come from Africa to come here, the people who stay there, they pray for my family back home to really see them. They're closing the border, 100 years. 100 years they don't open the border. When the first people pray, they need to get family back. That's why a lot of people come from Africa, they stay here, they marry here, they get family here. They think so they come business. No. You come this country here to see family. That's make more people come from Africa. They're here now. They don't know. They don't know. Some reason. It's not business to make money. The first people pray for. To need catching the family back. That's why now more people from Africa, they born there, they come here. They marry here, they stay here. Some people born in America now, they go back to Africa.
Go back to Africa.
They build their own house. You see? And they pray from the God. That's number one. Anything you do, don't forget the God. Because first people they pray for. That's why God make you unite. That people pass away, may the energy come back. That's why to hear. Yeah, a lot of people, they don't know that. For some reason, people born in Africa, they come, they stay here. For some reason, people born in America here, they go back to Africa, they stay there. Because they know the family, they come from over there. That's why God making they come together to don't understand. People born in Africa, oh, I'm going to go to America, I'm going to go to America. No, you're going to see your family, that's why you're born in America. People born in America are going to go back to Africa. They say, why you born in America, you're going to go to Africa, they suffer. No, they don't suffer. They have something they don't know. Because I have a lot of things. They're inside the water, they say, I need water to drink. Africa have a lot of research. Why the people born here now, they go there, they say, I'm from South Africa. You ask them, I go everywhere, I travel everywhere. When I go any market, I see some white, they ask them, why you from? I'm from South Africa. Why? Something in South Africa. Because when nothing going there, nobody can get out here. Why you go there? You build your own house, you say, I'm from over there. They have something research there. That's why now a lot of people born here now, all the fruit of Africa, they look in their own houses. Some people born in Africa, they come America, and it's Africa. First one they come there, the last one they're gonna go back there. I'm Sako International, I will say this message. All they're gonna be back to motherland. It's in the time. All they create control that. When the time comes, no choice. Because Africa gonna be very, very nice to live there. When you have the few $1,000, you go Africa, you live there like king. Like king. Everybody happy to small money to 800 people. You're gonna say, no, this is not my money. There's small money, everybody happy for that. That's the blessing. Yeah, that's it. To come together is more important. That's why Marley said, that's why Dr. King said, that's why Michael X said, that's why Frakan said. Because when you look at them, all they say, walk up. They make people walk up. Don't be sleeping. You have to know, respect yourself. I don't say don't respect other people. You have to know yourself, respect yourself, and respect others.
You can't really respect other people until you respect yourself.
That's it. Thank you very much. What's your name?
That's Dwayne.
Dwayne, Sako. Sako International. What's your name? Sis?
Robin.
Robin. Nice to see you. You know, my English is not too clear.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's not too clear.
Yeah, we understood you. So.
Yes, we did. We understood.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. I say discuss with my Marley. I say, oh, I'm gonna come here. Because it reminded me, my good friend, he liked Bob Marley more than everything. When I play Bob Marley music, I thank for him. He died more than 20 years. May I never forget him. Yeah. That's something good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah. See you again.